one thing we forget that Africa, we didn't unite. So if we create these agendas of making the continent bigger or shifting the continent to the Africa we want, let us not forget the same time that we use to create this situation of this organization, this kind of organization, and some agendas, be the opportunity for we to make this unity become into reality, because the leaders who met in these agendas are the leaders which we need to unite the continent of Africa. You know, Africa, we have this African American Summit, Africa Russia Summit, Africa China. Let us have this Africa to African Summit, which will help us to have the discussion in order to achieve this unity of Africa. We always keep these agendas. Africa must have this organization to develop. Africa must have this and that. And I heard well the speech from President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, said a lot of things that Africa, we need to stop these seminars to the development of Africa. Once we want to develop Africa, let us get directly into the field. There we can know and we can learn while we are doing such things. Let us stop these seminars educating each other. We must do this and that to make the continent better. Otherwise, let us use this opportunity, because we meet a lot of African leaders to have these talks. Let us use this opportunity to discuss about the unity of Africa. And if we achieve this, the unity of Africa, all these things that we planned as African to have will be easier, because we are united. Once we're united, we'll have the same army, one army. We have the president of the state of Africa. We have the common currency which we use all Africans. We will have one passport, and each and everything that as a state needs to share. So let us use this meeting to discuss the unity of Africa. I don't think it's good to continue creating some agendas that always they are not working to the full that we think. Let us use this platform, let us use this meeting, seminars to address the unity of Africa, because Africa is biggest continent. Africa feeds the world. That's why they fear for the unity of Africa, because the unity of Africa is a threat to them. That's why they still make us be divided to their own interest, not for our own interest. So they fear African to unite. So we all know this. Why don't we unite now? And they found this some issues, as Museveni said. Once you tell them mediocre things, they find it fast than to take something to the development of Africa. They'll take you around then without giving you any feedback. So let us use this, because we all know that in our agendas or in our project at this, we meet more than 10 African leaders. So it's enough to meet and discussing about the unity of Africa. The unity of Africa. The continent is needed to be united, and I appreciate what Ibrahim Traore and all Sahel region leaders doing to their part in the Western Africa. But we don't want to see only in West Africa. We need to see in the whole continent of Africa. And this year is luck for the southern part of Africa. We see there a young leader who has the great vision of the Mother Africa, Julius Malema. But I'm not campaigning him. I appreciate his idea of uniting the continent of Africa. So I feel that like South Africa has the opportunity to select the man who have the great ideas, who understood the system, understand the system as Western leaders doing. So, brothers and sisters in the continent and those who are in diaspora, can we advise our leaders that this meeting they're using to discuss some agendas, some issues and problem that faces Africa? Let's use this opportunity also to discuss the unity of Africa. Now the time for Africa to unite is now. We have been talking too much since the more than 2 generations. We have been discussing the same issue. When Africa will be united, let's now start this movement of uniting the continent of Africa. Africa for Africans. African problem for African solution. No one will come abroad the continent and come to solve our problem. As Africans, we need to solve our own problem. And this thing I know, and you know, you my fellow Africans, they don't want it to see in the continent of Africa. So now let us decide ourselves that in order to make the Africa that we want, we need to unite this continent. We, without depending from anyone abroad the continent. And I know Museveni say that this money that we Africans will borrowing is a trap. End of the day, we become dependent to them. And we say that who feeds you can control you. This is the reality of what's going on in Africa. So brothers and sisters, I appreciate your time from the beginning up to now. I want you to also have a comment on this video on what you understood. Please let us share together, because only we can make Africa that we want. Thanks for watching, and let's meet on the next episode.